There we go. Okay, Roy, you can start the meeting.
Well, good afternoon. I would like to call to order the special meeting of February the 17th, 2022 of the Housing Opportunities Commission. I'm Roy Priest, the chair of the commission, and I'd like to introduce those members of the commission who I can acknowledge are present. I see present in person in our office, Vice Chair Van Kelleher, Chair Pro Tem Rick Nelson, and Jeffrey Merkowitz, Commissioner. Also present online with me is Commissioner Pamela Bird and myself. I don't see anyone else present for this meeting, but we do have sufficient number of persons present to constitute a quorum, and we can proceed with the special meeting. So I'd like to call this meeting to order, and there's one order of business to come before us, and so I will turn to Executive Director Chelsea Andrews to present the item.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, commissioners, members of the public, and HLC staff. This matter is before you requesting permission to move forward with contracting with Eastern Concrete Restoration to replace 4 additional flat roofs at Cider Mill, in addition to the formally approved 7 flat roofs that we were moving forward with. In addition to that, addressing the mansard roofs at Cider Mill Apartments that were identified by HUD as a potential REACT violation. These are 2 very different requests in regards to the roofs. The first being one related to leaks and issues that we've identified that we definitely need to address immediately by way of a change order with our current contractor who's doing work already on the site. The second is related to what we consider to be more of a cosmetic issue that was identified by HUD in a recent REACT inspection. We are in communication with HUD and trying to work through some potential resolution to avoid taking on the additional expense of close to $900,000 or at a minimum $800,000 to replace all of the mansard roofs. And therefore this resolution and request is drafted in a way that would allow some flexibility if we are able to work with HUD related to the mansard roofs. With that, I'm going to turn it over to the development team to provide more details and an overview of this request.
All right, for the record, Mark Thurman, Director of Development. I'm going to turn it over to Senior Financial Analyst, Gio Catalaz.
Thank you. For the record, Gio Catalaz, Senior Financial Analyst, and as the Executive Director Andrews outlined, this procurement request includes 2 items. The first one is a change order request to replace flat roofs at the property. The contractor that Eastern Concrete Restoration has already performed this work for 7 flat roofs, completed it last year. And since that work started, 4 additional roofs were identified with active leaks and issues, and we need to address those in the near future. And the contractor proposed a price at the same rate per unit rate as the other roofs, and our request of $464,000 is based on that estimate. The second request is for the mansard roof shingle replacement. As the Executive Director pointed out, this is a cosmetic issue that last year's REACT inspection identified. But REACT's notice requires us to address it and to avoid any issues with HOC's eligibility to participate in HUD programs. So this is an emergency procurement authorization request for $819,000 to Vertex Roofing Contractors. They would be able to start the work immediately and complete it by the end of summer. In addition to the base amounts, we're requesting 20% contingency funding. So the total amount of the 2 requests is $1.54 million. We ask for your approval to pay for these repairs from the property's replacement reserve fund, which has a balance of $3.9 million. When the fund will have approximately $2.6 million remaining after this work is completed.
Mr. Chair, The Budget Finance and Audit Committee has just recently concluded its meeting and thoroughly discussed this item with the staff and has joined the staff's recommendation to recommend to the full commission approval of this request.
So
Thank you very much.
So therefore, thank you. So having said that, I will move approval of resolution, what's the number?
2310.
2310. Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve resolution 23-10. I have a question before I move the motion. I know that this was just discussed by the committee, and now it's coming before the full commission and special session to approval. I'm assuming that what you want to do is advance this work prior to the March meeting of the commission, correct?
That is correct.
And this is for undertaking repair of 4 roofs. What do you anticipate in terms of going forward for additional requirements for further roof replacement work that's going to have to be done on this property?
Commissioner, please, included in the packet is a long-term plan, or at least a suggestion in regards to how we would approach this moving forward. The staff is doing a comprehensive analysis of what next steps we should take, and based on some of the feedback we also received from the committee earlier related to potentially also incorporating mansard roofs in that assessment. The plan is to look across the portfolio or across this property starting in fiscal year 2024 and to do repairs on a number of roofs annually. And so the estimated cost for that at this time is approximately 1.125 million, but that does not include the mansard roofs. So based on some of the feedback we received, we want an opportunity to look at that closer. We also are exploring additional funding sources, including the potential of adding solar and the ability to leverage resources from the Inflation Reduction Act. And so we anticipate coming back to the commission with a more comprehensive plan, also identifying what funding sources are available to address the full roofs at this property.
Yeah, thank you very much. With that, are there any other questions, any points of discussion? If not, it's been properly moved and has seconded to approve resolution number
3-10.
23-10.
Right.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposers? The motion carries unanimously for approval of resolution 23-10. So I hope this will, in fact, ameliorate some of the concerns that have been expressed by the residents of this property, by the work that we're going to do now. And then as I'm encouraged to see that we're going to be looking at a long-term plan about how we begin to address the overall requirements for the property for not only roof replacement, but there certainly are other things that are going to probably come forward over the life of this property before we redevelop it further that we will have to address. So thank you for this. With that, pursuant to section 3-305B and D of the General Provisions Article of the Annotated Code of Maryland, I move to adjourn this open session to a closed session only to discuss the appointment, employment, assignment, promotion, discipline, demotion, compensation, removal, resignation, or performance evaluation of an appointee, employee, or official over whom this public body has jurisdiction, any other personal matters that affect one or more specific individuals. This is done pursuant to section 93-305B1. The meeting will be closed to the public because it involves an individual employee over whom HOC has jurisdiction, and discussion will include personnel information about the employees in specific performance and employment. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Then probably moving second to approve moving into a closed session. Adjourning this open session and moving into a closed session. All those In support of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed is nay. So ordered. So this meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much. And we'll proceed now to closed session.
Thank you.